Well, good morning, friends. We're so grateful you're here. We've got Cody Qualls and Gary Lynn Floyd, and Sheryl Renee is on her way. She's been traveling. We're so grateful that you could make the time today to join us on this Zoom, and also we just love and appreciate you just because. And I'm so excited for your joining Candlelight this year.
Thank you. And for everybody tuning in, that's our music director, Laura Berman, and also joined today, Gary Lynn Floyd, Cody Qualls. We're so excited, so excited. We've had many years of candlelight services at Mile High Church. I think it's over 45 years of candlelights. And the music in the candlelight services is such an integral part of our Christmas experience and Christmas time in our community. So it just seemed like a perfect opportunity to have a chance to talk with our wonderful artists who will be performing in the service and to ask them a few questions. So Laura gets to ask the first question.
Yay. So we have these couple of questions we wanted to pose. And of course, let's just be in the flow. And if things come up, feel free to share. But one of them, the first one that I'll share is there a memory that you can recall where that started you on your road to music? Maybe it was a special event or a family member or a song. Cody, is that one of your littles right
Yeah,
there?
so I just had a jailbreak when I have a 17-month-old here who decided to
Hi.
he just decided to enter the room here. If you wouldn't
Oh
mind
my.
giving me 1 second to run him back to Mama, he found his way. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to everybody? This is
Hi.
Sebastian.
Oh, all
He's a
right.
good.
Yeah, absolutely, Cody. So
Christmas
So
blessing.
cute.
1 second here.
that's being in the flow. Anyhow, so we've got Gary here. So I'll pose the question for you, Gary. So is there a memory that you can recall that really was impactful on if for getting you started on your musical journey, a song or an event or a person? We're just so curious how that started for you.
Um, the first thing that comes to mind is my older sister Carol, she's 8 years older than me, and she was taking piano lessons, and I was a 4-year-old kid that would kind of apparently listen to her playing the piano, and then I would go when she was done and pick out the melody of what she had been playing. And my mom called her piano teacher and was like, I have this kid, he's not banging on the piano, he's actually playing a song. What do I do with him? So they started me piano lessons, and then someone had the great idea for me to play with her at her recital. So here's this, 8-year-old girl that's trying to, play her piece, and I'm the 4-year-old kid at the top of the piano playing the melody, and completely stole the show, stole the moment, and that was really my first time to be in front of people, and that's the first thing that comes to mind as far as the beginning of this lifelong journey with piano and music and writing songs. And but I kind of came here with the gift somehow, and just have been doing it ever since.
I'm imagining the little Gary, 4 years old, stealing this show.
Yes, it was she says it's the end of her career and the beginning of mine.
That's great.
And it basically was. She's finally forgiven me for that, I think.
Good. Good. Looks like Cheryl has joined us. We're glad to have you here, Cheryl.
Thank you, Gary, for sharing that. What a sweet, sweet memory, and to paint a picture of how it started for you. So, Cody, we were posing the question if there was any moment you can recall when you were young that felt like a pivotal moment for you in terms of being starting the musical path, or a person or an event, or we're curious about how you got started.
Yeah, I think there's a couple. It's interesting, actually. I was gonna speak about this moment when I was in fifth grade. I was in choir, and we were auditioning for solo parts. It was the teacher was just looking to kind of put people here and there on a couple parts, and she was just going down the row, and I sang, and she just kind of stopped, and she said, "You've got a voice." And I always wanted to be a singer. My family, for generations, we've had a lot of music in the family, and so I was really, really excited when my choir teacher told me that she thought I could sing. So my parents signed me up for some voice lessons, and it was kind of off to the races. But my very first memory that actually Gary kind of just catalyzed was I was down in the Florida Keys where my grandfather lived when I was 4 years old, and he played in venues down there in the Keys, and we were visiting family, and he called me up on stage, and we did Stray Cat Strut. I sat on his knee, and I remember I remember just the applause and the feeling of community and the exchange of music, and it really lit me up, and that was like, oh, I would love to do this, but singing and music is kind of for special people. It's not everybody gets to do music for a living kind of thing. I remember having those thoughts as a kid. So when I found out from my choir teacher that I could sing, it was like, it just felt like divine deliverance of sorts. I remember as a kid being like, maybe I'm meant to do this. So So Gary, thanks for sparking that.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, Cody. So special.
Well, Sheryl is here. Hi.
Hi, Sheryl.
Yes, I'm a second generation entertainer, vocalist. My mother, my stepfather, as long as I can remember, we were always at rehearsals, band. But one day I heard my mother singing a song called On a Clear Day. And on a clear day, rise and look around you and you see just who you are. I think I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. And I just fell in love with that song. And I think that started my interest in the standards, in lyrics, but music was always a part of my life. But that moment stands out for me. And then when my mother was about to transition, she recalled that moment. So I know it was special for her too. She remembered that little girl being excited about that song, So I always think about her every time I sing it. And Please, hi, Gary. Hi,
Hi,
Cody.
Sheryl.
Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. That was a really touching story. It's just
Yeah.
really wonderful to hear these memories from all three of you.
Yeah, it's great to hear how you got started because you all are such a part of our musical hearts. The music that you bring to the world just from these beautiful starts is just really inspirational and is very touching. And given that we're celebrating Christmas together, we're going to be together for days, we thought we'd all check in on if you have a really important, impactful Christmas memory from any part of your life that really touched your heart that you'd be willing to share with us. So why don't we go in the same order that Laura took us? Is it all right if we start with you, Gary? Do you have a special Christmas memory?
Sure. I love the memories of just being a kid. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and I remember being in my grandmother's house, and we would line up. Of course, it was like from shortest to tallest, youngest to oldest, so I was always in front, and so always going to see what Santa had brought. But then the rule was we had to go around the circle, and I just open one present, and then everybody kind of like watches everybody open the presents, and some years it would last a couple hours where we'd just kind of sit as a family and open presents, and that innocence and just expectation, the feeling of being so close to the family at that time in my life, I treasure those moments just as time has gone by, to go back to those early years of just the anticipation of Christmas morning and being together. And
Well, thank you. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
thank you.
What about you, Cody? I mean, you've got a whole bunch of littles around you, so I would imagine you've got beautiful memories both from your life and now your life as an amazing father too.
Yeah, I got 5 children, my youngest being 17 months, my oldest being 14. So and a smattering in the middle. So we've got a lot of different, just wonderful different dynamics of how all those kids approach, the holidays. Most of them are still chomping at the bit for Santa to get here. And sorry, I thought my son might have broken back into the room again. But I think it's interesting when you ask that question. What came in for me was, I have so many great holiday memories, but I remember this time when I was 15. I remember I still live in the same area I grew up in. I live in downtown Louisville, which I just adore. I love this little town. And I was walking around, and it was late at night, and my grandmother particularly loved blue Christmas lights. Sometimes you'd see a house in the neighborhood, and it was just completely decorated with just blue Christmas lights. And she really, really loved that style of lighting. And she had passed at that time. And I remember just walking around thinking, seeing a house like that, thinking about my grandma. And then in this moment, having this sort of transition from like younger child into more of an adult, like just this experience of Christmas not being about what you get, but being about the feeling and the connection and the community and like releasing that. I mean, when you're a child, like Gary was talking about, there's this like crazy anticipation of, this is going to be so amazing, and all the relatives are around, and like I see it with my own children. Sometimes they can't sleep at night, that night, there's such an excitement, but just kind of the freedom. I remember the release of like, hey, like I don't need to be like so as invested in what I'm getting tomorrow morning as in what this really is and what this really means to us as a collective and our family. It was a pretty cool moment. So I'm surprised that memory came in, but that's what came in.
That's beautiful. That's very heartful too. Both of you have shared very heartful memories. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that anticipation as a kid, it's powerful, but I think what you just said, it's not what you get, it's that feeling of warmth for sure. And there's so many things that can create it for sure. What have you got, Sheryl? You got a good Christmas memory for us?
Christmas memory. Well, I was a single mother of 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember the gratitude of Christmas, the gratitude of being able to provide Christmas for my kids. And no, but just the joy of being a mother and being able to share that excitement of Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, the night, that night when there's so much anticipation. I said you could always, if we could power the world on the energy of children from that night.
Oh yeah.
And just being able to have that, and feel it in my own home, with my girls. It was a beautiful thing.
That's great. I love that so many of our memories are us as children or involving our children, that childlike quality, that childlike innocence. It's so beautiful. And I'm going to put you on the spot, Laura B. Do you have a beautiful memory from holidays that you want to share?
I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas. I
No.
always loved it though. And I think my parents were like, this is interesting, because most of my neighbors were like Italian Catholics, or the neighborhoods always had all of the lights in the 70s. It was like, the nativity and like Snoopy and all of the things that bring you joy. And I just remember as a kid just really loving the spirit of the season. I never felt particularly like excluded. I felt really just there was so much joy. And even now as an adult, when after around Thanksgiving the lights go up, that's one of my most favorite things, along with the music, but just the lights, the reminder of the light, especially in the dark season too. And just the joy of being together with people you love and families and the kids. We just had our family Christmas, and there were a lot of people there and a lot of kids, and just the joy that they bring is just
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you all for sharing yourselves with us. And I know for me, if you ask me that question, Christmas music has been a huge part of my inspiration at the holidays, and music in general is a huge part. And each one of you is a part of the soundtrack of my heart. So I thank you so much for the music that you provide to the world and that you're going to provide for us at Mile High Church this holiday season. And we hope everybody turns out for our candlelight services on the 23rd and the 24th, 1, 4, and 7. If you live far away, you can live stream a 7 o'clock service, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. We'd love to have you with us. So we love you. We are blessed by your presence. And there's a lot of buzz going on about this year's candlelight, and you all are it. So thank you. Many blessings.